anything anyway. So.
We're good. We're good. This good? Is this okay? Because this is a moneymaker.
I meant to thank Tyler and Boog because they both subbed yesterday. I don't see that crap because I have to keep this up for
Oh,
the
that's
YouTube
true.
comments.
Oh, you're saying you don't see YouTube?
No, like I don't see the Twitch stuff, like the notifications for like someone subbing and stuff because I don't keep the Twitch stuff up. I only see it when I reload it. But oh well, I'll thank Tyler individually, and Boog will be here tonight probably, knowing her. So I don't know. Yesterday was a shit show. I thought I knew the way the league was headed, and I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it kind of threw everything into question, right?
Like I don't know. I just thought the Jags were a better team. Like I know the Niners are a great team, but to get dominated that way off of a bye, so you had a whole week extra to prep. Like I don't know. We'll get to that game.
You kind of cemented in your head, right? That if obviously, if San Francisco doesn't have Trent Williams, they're a totally different team.
Yeah.
But when they're healthy, they don't need much to beat you. They can just play the game and beat you because they beat the shit out of you physically. They demoralize you, and then what do you do? Like, look at the teams people put at the top. You thought Jags were a contender. People thought Dallas might still be considered a contender. You put them against the 49ers healthy. The only team and I'd favor the 49ers might be Philly.
I think it depends where that game is. Philly's so different at home as well.
It's kind of like Dallas, right? And Dallas isn't gonna. I mean, Philly's got a tough schedule down the road, but I don't think Dallas is gonna hop them. So Dallas got to play on the road.
Dallas has 2 easy games coming up, and then their schedule hits a buzzsaw.
Yeah. So
they also. This is the first time I've seen this in a very long time, if ever. But they get the Thanksgiving game, and then they play the following Thursday. They don't get a whole weekend until Sunday.
They play literally
back to back.
7.
Yeah, they get the back-to-back Thursday night football games. So that'll be intriguing.
That's yeah. I feel
I
don't know.
They get the Commanders in Dallas on Thanksgiving, and then the following Thursday they stay at home, but they get Seattle.
Week 10, Week 10 Hemi Award winner Dak Prescott, bro. He was playing a high school football team. Of course, he should have been good.
I'm confused by it not being like, I don't know,
CJ Stroud.
There's a couple people that it really could have been. I don't know. I would not have given it to Dak, but it's ESPN and they love Dak, so
yeah. Well, listen, you gotta push narratives, right? And I don't understand. I mean, he threw a ball to the sideline, which I think he was trying to throw to the sideline. It came about 10 yards short, and CeeDee Lamb bailed him out.
Yeah.
Did you see that throw?
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly think he's very fortunate. He has one of the top 3 receivers in the league at the current moment on his roster, and that helps him a lot. Look better than he really is. Granted, playing out of the slot, there's not a lot of slot corners these days, so CD can pretty much burn any team right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a big believer in some of the things I saw yesterday having some weight, which we'll talk about because one of them is the team I thought was the best team in the league, but we'll get to that. Before we get to that, college football, we talked about most of it yesterday, but Jimbo Fisher being fired, $46 million now. He'll get paid to not do anything. What's good, Saif? How you doing, buddy?
$77 million buyout.
Oh, sorry, $77 million to sit on his ass and doesn't have to do anything.
I think 46 was the one I was talking about, which is like the second highest.
Oh, I think that's what he got paid the past 2 years that he's been with
Oh
Texas
yeah.
A&M.
He signed $110 million deal when he first signed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I think that's what he's just been paid since he started at Texas A&M, and now he'll get the rest.
which is
That's
hilarious
fucking-
because he went out on a win.
Yeah,
Like, all right, bro.
he's just
Like,
been so bad. They've been so
well,
bad.
they said that what they said in their like press release was basically they felt like they were stuck in neutral.
Harley, stop.
All right, question
Team
already.
is Kyler, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brees Hall, AJ Brown,
Puka.
Puka Nakua, Dalton Kincaid, Debo Samuel, and bench is Zach Moss, Chris Godwin, Jordan Shithead, Miles Sanders, and Kareem Hunt? Yeah, Kareem Hunt. Speak from buys, but now have Godwin on bench. What do I do with him?
You're probably looking at the depending on matchup, Puka or Debo. I mean, that's everything you can do. I mean, you could flex him depending, but you're not going to start him over AJ Brown ever.
So are you saying, like, are you sure you trade him, or is that what you're asking? You're in a tough situation this week at quarterback, I'll tell you that.
Boy, can that toddler run though?
Ow! Fuck!
Kitty cat get you?
No, Harley did.
No.
Because he has to lay against me.
Nah. My dog does that too. She just put her elbows right on my toes.
Because if you could trade him, I don't know, you might need to upgrade your backup depending on when Kyler's bye is. I don't know if the Cardinals already had their bye because I don't pay attention to them. Kyler already had his bye? No, week 14. I mean, we play the Giants, so maybe you'll be all right.
Yeah. That's questionable at best right now, but
Jordan Love is, I mean, a pick machine when he gets in the red zone. The dude literally is okay now down the field, but once he gets to that red zone and that field gets small, the biggest problem is he can't do anything after he reads his first read. He just stops looking. And I don't understand it. Yesterday, when we were making that comeback and he got down to the 12-yard line, he looked to the left on that final play and never looked right. And there was two receivers on the right. He never bothered looking. He just waited. And I was like, you're dumb. But, I mean, I like Godwin as a bench player in case someone gets hurt. Weather's getting cold. A hamstring could be pulled pretty easily. I'd hold on to him just in case, unless you can really flip for something that benefits your team. But I think Godwin is a good bench receiver heading down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I would just dump Miles Sanders or find a way to get him the hell off my team is what I'd be doing.
Yeah, he's really kind of useless now, isn't he?
Yeah, they've gone Chuba Hubbard fully, and I don't blame them.
No, Hubbard's looked better for sure.
Like, if you can get anyone to bite on Miles Sanders, if you get anything out of him, like even Jaleel McLaughlin, it would still be better. In our league, I made all these deals and shit, and I didn't realize my buys were coming up, and now I only have one running back this coming week, so I've got to make a move at some point today or tomorrow to get a.
You almost had me. You almost had me.
I didn't even look at the score.
After CD Lamb and Keenan Allen's nights, you didn't have me no more.
I can't with this team. Bijan and I just can't get any consistency.
Did you see that? Did you see that thing I sent you about Arthur Smith when he realizes he has all his studs on the field for a game time play? Timeout!
Yeah.
Timeout! He's running down the side. Like, that's fucking brilliant, dude. Oh, that's so good.
And I had 5 ones out of my defensive players. I was like, what am I doing? I don't even know anymore. I've been defeated this year in fantasy football.
It's been a hard year. Like, in our league, I just got super lucky that I drafted the 5 wide receivers I did.
Yeah.
I remember during the draft, I'm like, well, time for me to pick up another receiver. Like, I had no better options, so I just kept going. It turns out, well, they're winning the league for me. Like my quarterback play's been middling. My fucking tight end play's been atrocious. My running backs are Ramondre Stevenson and Cook from Buffalo. So you can just imagine how that's gone. But
yeah, your receivers pick up the slack.
Yeah, I think my receivers in the scoring category put me like 100 points. Or going into last week, I was 100 points ahead of the second place person at receiver.
Yeah, well, Addison and Flowers, I thought were going to help carry when Ridley fell apart, but they're both so inconsistent now. So I'm just the problem with Flowers is he has all the talent in the world, and people keep going, "Oh, Baltimore doesn't give Lamar weapons." Baltimore can't give Lamar weapons because the offense is literally 75% run. So what's the point of giving him weapons if you're not going to call plays to your weapons?
I think that's part of the reason they can't close out, right? Like
I think so, because you just build no rhythm. Lamar has no rhythm.
Well,
He's inconsistent because
they
there's
almost get into that run first mentality and then forget that you might still need some first downs.
Yeah. We'll get to Baltimore, but anyway, other news, Thursday at 6 p.m., all the MVPs of baseball, the coach of the year, Cy Youngs, that'll all get announced. But today, Corbin Carroll won NL Rookie of the Year unanimously, and Gunnar Henderson won American League Rookie of the Year. He also won Silver Slugger for utility player, which is pretty impressive for a rookie. So, real happy for him. But good group, good two rookies. Sunday before we talk football, I'll go over the MVPs and the Cy Youngs because I do get heavily into those awards in baseball. But not too much else going on. Ovechkin, I don't know. Just this is a record I didn't know existed or people tracked, but just tied Gretzky in open net goals. I don't know why that was a record people track.
Well, I mean, there's certain Gretzky ones that are untouchable. So anytime you touch one, it's like, oh no, it's a Gretzky record. It's like
he'll probably pass Gretzky if he sticks his whole contract in goals scored, but you're so far off in points that I'm still like, eh.
Oh yeah, like
because he's only 42 away, I think, or something from Gretzky's goals right now. So he'll probably
nobody's ever touching Gretzky's points record. Like it is
Don't
the
you
most
talk about Connor Bedard.
It's the most unfathomable number, and especially when you take how much he played into account.
Why are you on me?
Gretzky was 1.92 points per game in his career. He averaged 195.5 points per season in the years that he was the recipient of the Art Ross Trophy. 195.5.
And did they play 83 games?
I think so. How many?
I didn't know if it was less, but that's just fucking nuts.
So he in every season he won the award, he amassed at least 130 points. Okay. Winning the Art Ross Trophy as the NHL's leading point scorer in a single season is a highlight in any player's career. Gretzky led the league in points for half of his career.
Yeah, they played 83 games. Sorry, I just wanted to
92 goals in a season, 163 assists in a season, 1,072 goals, 1,963 assists.
Yeah. Hold on. How many goals did you just say?
1,072.
Oh, that's including playoffs. 894 regular season goals. Alexander, I'm curious where he's at.
So Gretzky's points was 2857. That's more than 970 points more than Messier.
How many games played did he have?
Oh,
1487.
Okay.
That's, again, not playoffs. This is not showing playoff stats.
He had 3 consecutive 200-point seasons.
That's fucking nuts.
A 51-game point scoring streak.
think about it, one of the best players of our era, Ovechkin's highest point season is 112.
And Gretzky had 3 of 200 in a row. Okay. He had 50 goals in 39 games.
That's fucking nuts. So he's
at the time this article was written, which I'd have to look up. And this looks like it could be pretty old. Oh no, July 16th, 2023. Okay. It says, over the last 3 seasons, only 6 players have scored 50 goals in an entire season. To score 50 goals in half as many games seems preposterous based on these numbers. But except for everybody not named Wayne Gretzky.
Now I am curious.
Okay, so that was from 2012, though. It was an archived article.
I am curious. Now, I know the era today has more goal scoring. Do you think he'd be able to do what he did then today, or do you think it's just too different?
Actually, the game now would play more. The game now would play into the same favor it played him then. But even then, it was a lot more hack and slash roughing. He just had a way of getting around. Plus,
well, I was just curious because, like, in today's era, they play less minutes and they.
I mean,
have more players on the teams are deeper.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, with the number of power plays these teams are getting now, you think he's not going to be on the ice?
Yeah, it's fucking retarded how many power plays in hockey there are.
Yeah, so I think
it's the NFL, man. There's penalties everywhere.
His era and this era are probably the most alike, minus how big enforcers were in his era. I think like 2000 to 2010 would have not really suited him well. Now that they've done like the rules with all the penalties and shit, I think he'd be kind of back in his element. But I mean, you're talking, this is kind of like that Jordan era thing, right? With Jordan and LeBron and like era.
Well, I kind of agree with you because I see the argument. I don't think Jordan would survive in today's era. I'm not saying survive, but I think he would be he'd be top 12 in the current NBA. He wouldn't be, what he was then when he was the guy. He's not. He wouldn't be today. I mean, it's just flat out. There's too much athleticism, too much talent. Back then, he was the athletic freak. Now, there's guys out there that can out athletic him in any category.
He wasn't hyper athletic. He wasn't, he wasn't some of these guys that can just run the court all the fucking time. Back then, when he was playing against mailmen, sure.
Yeah, you look at people like, and I know he kind of fell off like a cliff, kind of like Russell Wilson has, but look at Russell Westbrook's athleticism when he was young and like when he was on the Thunder, like that athleticism didn't exist in that era.
Oh yeah, he would be in his prime. You would say he was like hyper athletic, like incredibly athletic to the point where he could jump.
Guy averaged a triple-double for an entire season.
Yeah, I love when people are like, "Oh, he played for it." Well, his fucking team wasn't. So what else is he supposed to do?
Right.
He's like, I better make the best of it. Like, come on. I hate when people kind of diminish that shit too. It was like in the San Francisco game when McCaffrey's trying to score the touchdown. Yeah, okay. I understand it for a fucking record.
Yeah, and the Jags did what they had to do. They said, nope, not against us.
Yeah, they played fucking defense. Like, that's it. I don't want them to get it for free, but you can't be the Jags and be like, you're running up the score. Bruh, you lost 34-3 anyways.
Like, whatever. You guys get paid. There's no running up the score. Play the game of football. If you're getting outbeat, figure out how to beat it. Otherwise, shut up and learn from it.
Go cry on the sidelines.
Yeah, just go fucking watch film and learn from it. Because Jacksonville, to me, just said we're not true Super Bowl hopefuls. We're just a playoff team.
I love when Trent Williams was like, that never happened to me before. Number 31 just turned around and ran away from me. When he got out on that lead block, yeah. And the guy turned his back and ran away. He's like, that never happened before. I don't know what that was.
This game's this weekend. All right, let's. I think that's everything going on in sports. How's the League of Legends tournament going before we jump back into football?
So the finals are set. The guy who's 27 playing with a bunch of 18-year-olds, Faker, who's considered the GOAT of League of Legends, just made another finals. He was in it last year when they lost to the other Korean team. They just knocked off the number 1 team in the world in the semifinals in a 3-1 stomping. And he has been in the world finals half of his career.
That's fucking nuts.
He's won 3 of them. He's been there 6 times. So if he can win one now, he'll probably retire because in Korean League of Legends age, he is ancient. He had a hand injury that held him out for 6 games this year, and the team looked absolutely lost without him. On the way to the finals, they beat the number 2 Chinese team and the number 1 Chinese team that was undefeated in world tournaments this year. And they handled them like they didn't even belong in the tournament.
Oh, that's fucking insane.
So the finals is, I think it's either next Saturday or next Sunday at 3 a.m. I just have to figure out what the schedule is because obviously the time difference. They're in Korea, so it's like 14-hour time difference.
Well, this Sunday morning they have the world's worst sporting event, for the world's worst racing event, I should say. Formula One's boring ass of 3 cars winning every race comes to Vegas for the Vegas Grand Prix, and their start time is 1 a.m. Eastern time. So they're starting at 11 p.m.
A night race?
11 p.m. in Vegas, yeah. And fans are freaking out. I saw it all over TikTok, and my buddy Tyler just said that he's a little worried because the temperature is only supposed to be like 52 at the start of the race, so these cars are gonna be sliding all over the place.
Oh,
and what a strip!
They were showing warm-up laps around some of those corners, and cars were just fucking turning. Like, I mean, the back ends were just blowing out. And it is 3 a.m. on Sunday, so I'll be setting an alarm to wake up and watch that. So
yeah. So that's happening. For those who did not know, Buffalo and Denver are playing right now. Denver has won 2 in a row out of nowhere. Buffalo is sliding all over the place. And James Cook just got stripped of the ball, and Denver already has the ball after kicking off to start the game. They have the ball 8 seconds into the game. So,
yeah, what a good strip, though. Did it go?
That was beautiful.
And he stayed in balance. Yeah,
that was beautiful. Yeah.
McMillan?
Yep.
McMillan. Yeah, it's McMillan, but yeah, way to strip him of the ball before he hit the ground because he definitely wasn't.
And Leonard Fournette was activated for today's game. Buffalo is probably not going to stick with James Cook much longer.
Hey, you shush over there.
They've been very public about their frustrations with him and Gabe Davis this season, as the season's kind of getting crunchy for them because they're getting in trouble, man. If the Jets would have won,
I don't know, man. Like I've kind of come to the conclusion myself that like Buffalo's not really a good team. They just have a few studs here and there.
I honestly think their coach is just outgunned. I don't think he's meant for this era of football.
Maybe him and Staley can go on vacation permanently together.
I mean, he's a defensive genius. Don't get me wrong. You see how good Buffalo's defense is. It's not like Staley where they can't play defense. So, like, if he doesn't hold on to this head coaching job, he would do great as a defensive coordinator somewhere. But like, honestly, he just needs to hire a creative offensive coordinator.
Maybe he could go to New England and be an offensive coordinator.
He just needs to have a creative offensive coordinator. Look how good the Bills were when they had Daboll. But ever since Daboll's left, this offense
Daboll was kind of the grease, right? Like he just kind of made it work.
Yeah. And ever since he left, this offense has been Stephon Diggs or bust. And
I actually heard something somebody was saying about Daboll in Buffalo, like when he was there. He was like he got a way to like get through to Josh Allen because Allen likes taking shots, and Daboll was crazy enough that if they threw a fucking ball deep and he barely missed Diggs, he goes, they go right back to the same fucking play and run it again.
Yeah.
And he goes, they weren't afraid. They weren't afraid to take that shot. And he goes, he knew what he had in Josh's arm, and he goes, he kind of built confidence in him. False start. That's what's gonna plague the fucking Denver Broncos is how unbuttoned they are.
I will say Sean Payton the penalties have come down the past couple weeks. They're winning games. Russell's not turning the ball over. It's starting to
those fucking timeouts though that he was talking about. He's like, I'm not used to taking timeouts this early, and then they do it all the time. It's like, bro, you're still doing it. Like, what do you mean?
It's because of fucking Russell. It's last year was such a shit show. I feel like he's still rattled.
Well, they keep saying like I remember when Peyton was like, if we got to go to the fucking wristband, we're going to the fucking wristband. But
I just feel like he's so rattled after how bad it was with Nathaniel Hackett that Russell is just like, what is going on? Like, I feel like he just kind of like they broke his noggin, and now he's just kind of. I mean, he's like I said, his quarterback rating's higher than Josh Allen's. He gets a lot of hate because he doesn't throw the ball deep, but if it's working, it's working. It's like Alex Smith. Alex Smith worked.
Alex Smith was the best game manager. I think Russell. What people didn't realize was the team around him in Seattle was a lot better than people thought.
It was so high. I think it was just like so high octane. It was so much running. And then you had Lockett. You know, him and Lockett had that deep ball connection like nobody else. I would love if there was someone that could actually go back through in analytics and just statistically break down how many, like, compare through history, how many receivers who has the most touchdowns with those toe tap in the corner of an end zone. Because Tyler Lockett might be the greatest receiver ever at that toe tap in the corner, deep ball type receiver. It is so beautiful. He did it again this weekend, and it's just so beautiful when he does it. And I feel like him and Russell had that combo, and it's just never going to happen again because he has nothing.
I think
Jerry Jeudy and him seem to have no. They just don't seem to have a bond. No one seems to have a bond with Russell in Denver. It's like, oh, this guy came out of nowhere. And
well, it probably doesn't help when they coddled him on his way in and gave him everything he wanted. Now the rest of the team hates him.
Well, yeah, you giving your star quarterback his own office where he doesn't have to work with any of his own teammates is such a stupid idea.
Or when teammates reach out to him and they have to go through a manager to get a hold of him.
Yeah, that's such a dumb idea.
That's not a leader. Like,
yeah.
And you know, they talk about intangibles and shit like that, and I get it, but like, you don't have to really be that intangible if you're just fucking good at the game. Like, I don't know. Guys seem to like Justin Herbert just fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he seems to be fine.
No, it's fucking true.
But then again, he gets up when he's got fucking broken ribs and throws a 35-yard dart down the middle. It's a no doubter, you know? Like, that guy's got it. I think people like Trevor Lawrence for that reason because he survived fucking Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
you know, like
Michigan State might not.
listen. They just send him to Robert Kraus and Madame Kamei's Pleasure Palace, all right, and fucking then bring him to Michigan State.
He's such a shitty coach. He's such a shitty human being. But whatever. If they want to put him to Michigan State as a Wisconsin fan, go ahead. I will gladly watch.
You thought the last coach committed sexual harassment? Fuck. Wait till this guy.
Yeah. As a Wisconsin fan, I'll gladly watch them fall apart. No problem. Especially with the teams like Oregon, Washington, and USC about to join the Big Ten. Good fucking luck.
USC's going to spiral out of control. They're not physical at all. They're going to be shitty. Lincoln Riley's going to leave.
I think Lincoln Riley's headed to the NFL.
I mean, who was the last coach? Clay Helton?
I have no idea. I don't watch.
That was the guy they fired, right? Like,
yeah, I think
he literally has the same exact record so far.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm on a delay. I'm on a slight delay. Hey, guess who has one of those sideline hoodies? I do.
No. Nope. Sorry, Montana State boy. As much as I love you, no. No. You're not a receiver. No.
No, he says no. Okay, I'm looking. But you want to get into
the game? That hold. Look at that hold right down the middle. Oh, they threw the flag for that. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get into the games. Thursday Night Football, Bears, Panthers. We're going to get into it.
It was fast.
A garbage shit show, 16-13, which I think was the result of last night's game. No, 16-12, sorry. The Panthers can score a touchdown, not like the Jets. I don't know. Bryce Young didn't turn the ball over in their losing effort. This game was a snooze fest. I don't know. I saw Stephen A. Smith said that if I'm Justin Fields, if I'm Justin Fields, I don't play a game again for the Bears after this game, and I don't understand why. I don't.
I've been like playing with this in my head, and it's just one of those situations, kind of like what was his face there in Arizona before Kyler?
Josh Rosen.
It's kind of playing out that way, and I just think the Bears leadership. Well, one, they have the oldest owner in the league, right?
I think
it's that lady. It's that older lady.
I don't know. Mike Brown is fairly ancient.
Virginia McCaskey.
How old is she?
She was born in 1923.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, was born in 1935. So yeah, okay.
She's 100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the owner of the Orioles. Peter Angelos turns 100 this year.
Yeah, makes sense. They lived through the Great Depression. They like to save money. Oh God! But I just kind of feel like that's a situation. Like,
breaking news: Gabe Davis caught a football. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh shit! No goose egg this week. Good job. Yeah, I feel like ownership there. Like they got to transition at some point. Obviously, she's got the money, so it's not gonna fucking transition until somebody inherits that money. But it just feels like that Rosen situation to me, where they're ready to move on, and I don't think they gave the guy a fair shot. Like he's kind of like that Russell Westbrook, got the hyper athleticism, right? But he had nothing to build on his arm, like nobody to help him.
Well, they got Eberflus because he was supposed to be an offensive guy, but he's a fucking terrible head coach. A terrible head coach. Their GM's a brain dead moron. And realistically, they never got him a good quarterback coach. I don't remember who it is, but if I remember correctly, hold on, Bears. Their QB coach is Andrew Janocko, who was the quarterback coach for Kirk Cousins, which is people can be like, well, Kirk's fine. Kirk's fine without a quarterback coach because he's a veteran of the league.
Yeah, Kirk has been like, I don't want to say a journeyman, but he hasn't.
Well, yeah, he was great. He was great in Washington before he went to Minnesota.
He hasn't had a smooth ride because like everybody wanted to franchise tag him because they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you? I guess.
I know nobody could get over the fact that he was like a 5th round pick or 3rd round pick out of Michigan State. They were like, well, who is this guy?
Dude, before his injury this year, this might have been his best year.
Yeah, I think he's a great quarterback.
I actually really like Kirk Cousins. Obviously he has trouble in the big game, but I don't think that's just him. I just think it's the teams he's been on.
I agree.
In Washington, you're not winning any big games. Let's be real here. You're like Dallas. Okay. And then the Vikings, good luck sometimes because they were a roller coaster team for his career there.
They're one of my teams that I'm like Kevin O'Connell's a good coach, but like there's times where I'm like, I don't feel like he's consistent.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like there's consistency out of him as a coach. Okay. No, I agree.
Since that James Cook fumble, I've seen Lat Murray and I've seen Johnson.
Yeah, I have not seen.
He might be done for the night. He might be done for the night. I'm not gonna lie.
They're so tired of all the turnovers. Granted, Josh Allen's more than half the team's turnovers. I think they said 60% before the game. But still, like they're going to cut the other people out of the rotation that are going to start doing this.
Yeah, you can't have both of them doing it, and they're not sitting Josh Allen.
Yeah, we already almost had a Josh Allen pick. If Alex Singleton could have got a 2nd foot down.
Yeah.
But anyway, to Thursday night. Yeah, like you said, I think a team out there might give Fields a chance. I don't know who.
Carolina might at this point.
I just feel like Bryce Young. I don't know.
Hey Lex, how you doing?
Hi Lexi. I was so excited about what's his name from the Colts going to Carolina as their head coach, Frank Reich. But people keep saying, aren't you worried about the height thing? Because it's not just the height, man. No, I mean with Frank Reich. Frank Reich has never coached a quarterback under 6'4" in his entire career. So I'm like, but I feel like he can transition to a guy if he has all the talent. Like it shouldn't matter. But now I'm not seeing any. It's kind of like I've said about Fields. I feel like Fields shows all the high potential, but there's no growth because there's no one to help him grow in the league. And I'm starting to feel like Bryce Young is not taking any because it's as Colin Cowherd said, I give you till Thanksgiving when you're a rookie. If you don't start to show improvement, even in bad games, just show the signs of improvement. How do we believe you're going to take those steps? And I'm starting to feel that. Like, I don't see big strides forward. Like CJ Stroud, even after a bad game or a bad play, he comes back in the game and just grows.
Well, did you hear what he said to his head coach? After his bad INT, CJ Stroud goes to his coach and goes, "Give me the ball back." He says, "Give me the ball. Give me the ball back. I'll make up for it." He goes, "That one's on me. I'll make up for it." Like that's a fucking that. Oh, was that tipped? Was that Simmons?
Simmons 31? Caught the ball. It was tipped by Gabe Davis.
Typical.
It was off Gabe Davis's fucking hands and right into Justin Simmons' hands. Yeah.
Oh, time to sit Josh Allen too.
Or Gabe Davis.
Or Gabe Davis. I'd probably say Gabe Davis on that one. Fucking
go back to bed.
No, so
good night. Hope you feel better.
Okay. Good night. So my biggest thing with the CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, like Bryce Young isn't tall, but like Russell Wilson got him drafted. Let's be real here, right? Like, but at the end of the day, like Russell, when he came in, was like 220. Dude, this kid weighs nothing.
Yeah,
he doesn't have an offensive line, and he doesn't have weapons. But you can't even say that because who's CJ Stroud thrown to? He's making these dudes look like number ones.
I will say the one thing I think it's one of the most underrated things in football for a rookie quarterback is having a tight end you can trust. And I think Stroud has that in Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew Luck, when he came into the league, if I'm not mistaken, had Dallas Clark. I could be off by a year or two. I just can't remember how long Dallas Clark went. It was so hard to remember his career. But like a lot of these guys stepped in and had big name tight ends. And the same thing I've said about Carolina for a long time. There's nothing wrong with Hayden Hurst being their guy now, but he's not one of those guys who goes out there. He was drafted because he was a blocking tight end. He's transitioned into a decent receiver, but he's still a blocking tight end. They have for the past 4 years not had a tight end. Ian Thomas has been their guy out of Indiana, and he has been terrible. And they've just not transitioned into anything better. And like you said, no offensive line. The running back room is Chuba Hubbard and a bunch of crap. Like, they just haven't given him the chance yet to be successful. So I'm not giving up on Bryce, and I hope they at least give him another full season. If Kenny Pickett can get 2 seasons, I hope Bryce Young can. But for Fields, I'm like, who? Like, maybe Atlanta, because they're not going to be in a bad enough position to get a top quarterback. So maybe Atlanta tries Fields. But then again, Arthur Smith will sit him. He'll have like 2 really good games, and Arthur Smith will be like, hold on, this isn't okay. We got to go to someone else. So, but I don't know. I am going to continue every week to watch Fields and monitor it. I don't know if he's going to play this week. I don't know. Okay. I just don't know his.
So Luck was drafted in 2012, and Dallas Clark retired in 2012.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I knew their careers came close. But...
They got Colby Fleener or Kobe Fleener, his Stanford teammate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I feel like that's kind of what, like, if Carolina doesn't do something quickly with the line and with offensive pieces, this kid's not going to have a shot.
And you traded so much to get him.
Yeah.
You don't have picks to do it through the draft. You're going to have to convince people to come in free agency and hopefully hit home with a 3rd-round pick on a lineman. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I feel like they buried themselves, and then right now they just made the wrong decision.
Yeah. I mean, if they want Christian Watson for like a second, like they were offering during the season, I think Green Bay could do that in the offseason because fucking I'm done with that guy.
And I don't remember who I heard say something today. They go, but it's really hard to pick between Alabama and Ohio State because, well, they get all the linemen, they have 5-star receivers, and they really don't pan out in the NFL. So
That was the thing I wanted to bring up about college football. I said college football, my brain slipped. The 5-star wide receiver decommitted from Colorado.
Yep.
He said he's worried that Dion will take a job elsewhere, either in college or NFL, and won't be there, and that's the reason he wanted to go to Colorado. So he's just not committed to Colorado anymore.
I mean, but Dion just said he's not leaving Colorado. I mean,
he's a junior in high school, so he won't be there till 2025. So he's worried that in 2024, when his kids leave, Dion might go somewhere else.
Somebody made a point. Somebody goes, what if a team drafts Shador and says, you can come here too?
And they could draft the other one in like the 7th round because he's not going anywhere. Shiloh is not getting drafted that highly.
Yeah, but basically, you put juice to your franchise just by getting fucking Deion Sanders to be the coach.
And if you get Shador as quarterback, who's going to say no to that? He looks phenomenal.
I think he's like 5th in FBS, like on average of everything. So like
he's the most sacked quarterback in college football. So no offensive line, and he's
literally playing behind Carolina's line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
why is Russell Wilson? Oh, wait, that was a fumble return? Oh, okay. This game's a shit show already. 3 turnovers.
Yeah, this game is a shit show. But hey, listen, at least it's interesting, right? Like, at least it's not a boring game.
Last night was so boring. I don't know how anyone watched it. But anyway.
I was asleep. I like went upstairs. Meg was watching some anime. We sat down and had dinner.
Oh, he's down.
I had some carbs with dinner last night, so that was sleepy bye time for me because
what was I?
I'd been up since basically the night before and fucking watched that League of Legends series in the morning. So
you just said something that made me wanted to Google something, and now I forgot what it was. I'm really bad.
It wasn't the Dallas Clark Lug thing. It wasn't the 5-star.
It was something about Shador and Bob and Dion, and I don't remember what it was.
Father-son coaching?
No, I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, the Bears win this game, move to 3-7. The Panthers lose this game.
I feel like the Bears needed to lose this game anyways.
I mean, Carolina has their pick. Has the pick, so whatever. If Carolina loses, they still gain that spot. So,
like, hear me out though, right? Bryce Young, 21 of 38, 185 yards, 3 sacks, 15 yards.
That's what it was.
0 TD, 0 interceptions. Kind of sounds like a Russell Wilson stat line.
Yeah, I agree. Except for Russell gets the touchdown normally, like one.
Maybe, but he also throws a pick.
He's got like 16 the year and 4 picks. I think.
Yeah. So he's 4-1 right now.
Yeah, and it's week 10. He's only thrown 4 picks. I mean, he's fumbled like 5 times, but still.
Yeah.
CJ fumbled like 3 times yesterday, so I'm actually trying to see if I can pull it up.
But did you see some of the throws he fucking makes? Like
he makes the dumbest throw. The touch he has on a football deep as a rookie.
Oh, some of those throws he's making are just into windows where no one else can catch it but his guys. Like he's like, I don't think you've seen a rookie like him since Luck.
I actually have to agree with that. I wanted to disagree, but I have to agree with that.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, they kept saying generational talent, but I feel like, well, one, he got held back by his coach, right? I feel like I put Herbert in that same category, but at least I've seen Herbert, like what he can do behind a shitty line when he's only got one guy who's catching the ball for him. Like I've seen that. Like Herbert's that guy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to put Stroud in that category, and it's real early in his career.
Yeah, I actually. So for me, I know you said Herbert, but for me, like I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence lately, and I gotta give him, like, besides what I'm seeing this season, I don't know what's going on, but One thing I got to give Trevor Lawrence a lot of credit for right now is I look at Clemson and look at the shit show that has happened. I thought, oh, Trevor might be a little bit beneficial of Dabo Sweeney. Dabo Sweeney can't coach a quarterback anymore.
No,
Ever since Trevor Lawrence has left, they've all been terrible. He got a 5-star recruit in DJ, whatever his name is. He went to Oregon State. Look what he's doing with Oregon State while Clemson sucks.
That Oregon State team looks ferocious.
So I'm like, all right. So Dabo might. At first, I thought Dabo was like one of those top coaches, and now I'm like, Dabo might suck ass. Like he might have been a beneficiary of Deshaun Watson with DeAndre Hopkins, and then goes into having Trevor Lawrence, one of the greatest generational talents in college football, and now that they're both gone, he can't coach. I mean, he beat the shit out of Notre Dame, but like,
yeah, I mean, it's Notre Dame, right?
Like who can't? I mean, Louisville did. I mean, but
Louisville's no longer an easy out, bro.
I know.
They're playing ball this year.
But I don't know. These coaches was so confident in. I'm starting to feel a lot less confident. Like Lincoln Riley, I am feeling no confidence except for the fact that he can maybe coach a quarterback, but he can't coach a team. I just don't think he can coach a full team. They're not physical. They don't play good football all the way around.
Lincoln Riley is his problem is on the defensive side. He's never going to get the right coordinators because he doesn't want to play the right type of ball. Like the top paid, if you look at the top paid defensive coordinators in college football, where do they come from? The SEC, of course, because those guys are training linemen. What is it, Georgia? Like 7 linemen a year get fucking drafted. Like,
let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think a defensive coordinator in the SEC probably makes like $1.8 million a year. Not to mention, you don't pay the taxes you do living in fucking LA that you're gonna pay in Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah.
So, hush. Of course, bring out the Notre Dame hate. There she is. What up, Tesco?
Talk to us otherwise.
So yeah, I just think like he's never gonna get the right coordinator because like USC back in the day, like when they had Pete Carroll, they had juice. You know what I mean? Like now, yeah, okay. USC is a bigger name Colorado.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That's what they are right now. They're just like
granted, Colorado might not make a bowl game, which is shocking.
Oh, no, their over under on wins for the year was 3.
I know. It's just shocking to me considering at one point they were ranked and now it's the same as Wisconsin. They're not going to make a bowl game. We suck. Northwestern just stomped the piss out of them. I was like, oh, okay. Got to be bad to lose to Northwestern, but sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, to continue what we were doing, Bears play the Lions this coming Sunday in Detroit, so that's a shit show stomping. Lions are already a 10-point favorite. Right now, Tyson Bagnet is listed as the starter. I don't know if Fields will play. Khalil Herbert will actually be back for this game, so that's good for them. And Carolina, for their sake, I hope gets a bye. But no, they get the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday.
Home or in Carolina?
Carolina.
What's the line? Like 11.5?
11. Flat 11. Okay. Very close.
It's not going to be 17 because they're not at home.
Yeah. Very close, though.
Because it would be like the Giants. It would be like 17.5 if they were home. But they're not. So you got to take away like 1 touchdown.
Yeah. So the Sunday morning. Oh, Lat Murray just dropped a fucking. Jesus Christ. The Bills can't play football.
Yeah. Put Cook back in, baby.
They just can't play football. I don't know what the hell is happening. Oh, their defense can play, but whew.
I actually heard somebody say today that like they think like even though Josh Allen is 6'6", 260 when he's like heavy, they're like 3 years, he's gonna age like Cam Newton.
I actually think he is going to decline like Cam Newton very hard.
Somebody said that today. They're like, I can just the way he plays and the way he has to play in Buffalo. They're
yeah, and especially with that cold on his joints and shit, he is not gonna. And he's already had multiple shoulder injuries. Like he's not gonna feel great in a couple years.
Yep.
Especially because Cam came from Auburn, stayed in Carolina. Josh played in Wyoming and then Buffalo. He's not had it warm. Like,
right. He almost needed to play kind of like Rodgers played early in his career, where he wasn't taking hits. He's just throwing the ball.
he gets down. Rodgers slides very well. He's a very good sliding quarterback. Knows how to avoid contact.
Allen
just lowers his shoulder and goes into people. I'm like, dude, eventually you're going to regret every decision you just made.
Yeah, Cam did that too. See what happened to Cam?
Yeah. And there it is, missing Stephon Diggs wide open. Just flat missed him. This team just isn't what everyone thinks they are on offense.
No, they're not. I
mean, there's a reason they lost to the Jets. They just don't have it. If you can't play good defenses, you're not going to win this in this league. But anyway, to our next game, the Sunday morning game that we talked about while it was live. But anyway, Colts beat the Patriots 10-6. I watched every minute of this game, and I still feel bad for watching it. Mac Jones threw a pick, 15 of 20, 170 yards, only 5 incompletions. People aren't talking about how accurate he was besides that pick.
But the pick, if you watch the pick, it comes at the worst time.
Yes.
And it is in the biggest moment where you could literally resurrect your career, and instead you underthrow a ball by 10 yards in between 2 defenders.
I mean, just because the Eagles lost to the Jets doesn't mean anyone should lose to the Jets. The Raiders beat the fucking Jets.
The Pats beat the Jets 15-13.
Yeah. The Eagles had to lose a game, okay? They're going to go 16-1, so they had to lose a game.
No, they're not going 16-1.
They just had to.
I can tell you they're not doing that.
I know. They're going to lose to the Chiefs on Monday Night Football this week, but I just wanted to bring it up.
I don't know. I feel like both those teams deserve to lose that game at this point.
Well, it's the struggling middle defense of the Eagles versus the struggling middle offense of the Chiefs. Well, the Eagles' offense has been incredible, and the Chiefs' defense has been incredible. It's a very interesting matchup.
Yeah,
is Taylor Swift going to be there? Because she's back on her Eras tour.
Doesn't matter, though, because she remixed the song with his name in it.
Yeah, but we've seen what he is without her, apparently. So
Uncle Travi. I'm sure she doesn't call him Unky. She probably calls him
definitely
Daddy.
Calls him Daddy, 100%. You see how excited she was when he was standing there waiting? She ran into his arms. She is calling him Daddy nowadays. But anyway, Colts win this game.
She has a really long back. Taylor Swift.
I
saw a photo of him and his brother today when they were at Cincinnati, and his brother
saw that,
and his brother just had the most disgusting beard. It said one of these men was nominated for sexiest man of the year, and one of these is dating Taylor Swift.
Right, fucking nuts.
Yes. Oh man.
So anyway, Colts win this game. I know I said during the game and before the game I didn't think that Bill Belichick's job was in trouble, but I honestly checked multiple times yesterday and today to see if he got fired because that was embarrassing. But he will keep his job till the end of the year automatically, so it shall seem, as they're going into a bye week, and so are the Colts. The Colts defense is legit. Very inconsistent legit, because there's times where they give up like 35 points a game, and then there's times where they just look like that, where they're all over the goddamn field. But I'm actually excited to see what this team looks like next year if they keep Zach Moss to make it the duo in the backfield, with Josh Downs becoming a true number 2, maybe even the number 1 at this point. With Richardson next year, I think this Colts team might win the South.
I mean, he's been a lot better than people gave him credit
maybe
for,
not
right?
win the South, because Houston is terrifying right now. But I'm really the AFC South. If you look at it, besides the Titans, these 3 teams with the Jags, I'm still not giving up on them. The Texans and the Colts next season, that could be a really fun division next year. So,
Yeah.
I'm happy the Texans won it and the Colts won here, but I also would have liked to see them lose to better their pick to maybe get Richardson, an offensive lineman, just to add a little bit of protection for the dude. But,
yeah, I feel like they could also use a weapon Like,
Yeah, I don't think Pittman's a true one.
I think
I think we're starting to
he's
see that.
he's a good complementary player. Like, he would help if you had a true number one. Like, he has a good rapport with Richardson, which is great. But if you can go out and get a stud, okay.
Yeah, go get that Florida State receiver. Can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Florida State.
But
I don't know who you're talking about.
yeah, well, everybody's talking about Marvin Harrison. I'm talking about that kid. I don't know. Or that Ole Miss kid that just made the craziest catch ever. I mean, he might be Odell and make only one great coach.
I did see that catch.
Be famous for one catch, but still, that catch was stupid. So, I mean, I got to give the Bills credit. They're playing hungry defense while their offense keeps leaving them on the field, but I don't know.
See.
Boogie, I meant to say this. Thank you so much for the sub yesterday. I'm so sorry I missed it. We have to keep StreamYard up to see YouTube quote posts, so I just honestly missed you, and I'm sorry. But thank you so much.
FSU wide receivers.
Their leading receiver. I don't remember his name. He's ridiculous.
They have Johnny Wilson Jr., Kentron Poitier, Ja'Kai Douglas, Darian Williamson, Deuce Span.
Player stats. Hold on, I got you. Coleman. Keon Coleman.
Okay.
562 yards on the season and 10 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he's the new junior. He was with Michigan State before.
Yep. Keon Coleman. Yeah, kid's a fucking monster.
I still expect FSU to fall out for some reason. I just feel like they're not beating people the way they should.
They're struggling through every game. I don't know. I thought Washington should have been 5 today when the ratings came out, but
I was happy they moved Georgia. Like, they kept Georgia where they were. They were just like, yeah, they decimated that team.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss was 9th, and they just flattened them. I was like, oh, okay.
That's kind of what Georgia does, right? Like, Georgia, it's funny too because it's been like a new way Georgia has to beat you. Because like they used to just be like start their offensive line and defensive line. It's like, yeah, good luck, you lose.
And it's so funny because every single year there's a point where we're like, oh, maybe Georgia's not as good as we thought they were, and then they go bonk, and I'm like, oh nope, they're back.
They're the first team. They're trying to three-peat, and I don't think a three-peat has happened since like 1939.
Kirby Smart is such a good coach. He's done such a good job with recruiting, with everything. He's just done so well. And Brock Bowers is going to be a top 5 pick. I don't. Besides, Kyle Pitts might have been 5th, but like I don't know a tight end that's ever had this kind of hype. So I'm excited for Brock Bowers. I've seen people saying he goes to the Bears. I really don't think so. I think they're happy with Cole Kmet. They just gave him a 4-year extension.
Okay, so college football has seen one official three-peat in its long history, courtesy of Minnesota. 1934, 1935, and 1936.
Okay, so back when
Minnesota.
Back when it was the big bruisers playing football.
Yeah. That was it. So all right. Just give me 1 second. Step away. I'll be right back.
You're good. So anyway, Colts Patriots was a shit show. The Patriots at the end of the game, instead of leaving Mac Jones in for the final drive, decided to try Bailey Zappi cold off the bench, throw him into the game. He threw a dumb pick into triple coverage. I don't know what he was doing.
Here, let me give you Bill's reaction.
Yeah, 3 for 7 on the day. Bailey Zappi on that final drive. I don't know. The Patriots are clearly saying we don't think we have the quarterback, but I honestly think they don't have the weapons. They don't have the head coach. It's not necessarily the quarterback. There's times where I'm like, Mac Jones really doesn't look like he's it. I don't think he is it. I think he's a very good backup quarterback.
He's a backup for the NFL.
Yeah, or he could go to a team like Carolina where they don't really care if they win. But like, the Patriots are a winning team. They're a team that we have since Bill Belichick and what's his name?
Hold on. I've been a Patriots fan for a long time. Before the Brady era, we also weren't a winning team.
I know, but like since what's his name? Robert Kraft. Since Robert Kraft has come into the organization, he has tried to give them
that mac and cheese money, baby.
He is Gillette. I used to think he was that Kraft for a long time.
I know.
It took me a long time to realize he was Gillette.
You didn't know what the name on the stadium?
I mean, the fucking Highmark. It's not owned by the Bills guy. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck Highmark is.
You know, some owners are poor enough they can't put their own brand on the stadium. Whatever.
Or Steve Bisciotti of the Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium. Like, I don't know.
Listen,
but anyway,
even Heinz Field sold out. You know what I mean? Like, come on,
to some stupid ass fucking
Acrisure.
But anyway, in this game, we did see Pittman have a good game. Josh Downs had a gorgeous catch in this game, and Jonathan Taylor looked good. There's not really a lot of excitement in a 10-6 game to talk about. Both teams get a bye, as we do every time you leave Germany. The teams come home to a bye.
They get to decide that, don't they?
Not for the Germany games. For the England games, they do. The Germany game so far. Well, last year, it was the first time we went to Germany. Both teams got a bye. This year, both teams got a bye. Like the Chiefs and Dolphins had a bye this week, and now these two teams. I don't know if it's a choice, but so far it's been unanimous. All 6 teams have taken a bye.
I've heard with the international games, you get to choose if you want it right away.
So
you don't get to choose when it occurs if you opt out.
Yeah,
but you can choose if it occurs.
So maybe that's the truth. I just don't know because, like I said, analytics show that England, when you leave England and you come home, it's better to not take your bye. For some reason, teams statistically have better records. Yeah. Wait, no, they haven't had their bye yet. They're week 13,
but they opted out.
Oh, yeah, of the England games. So analytics show it's better to do that. But so far out of Germany, nobody has opted out. They've all had a bye. Which is only an extra hour, so I'm kind of shocked that that's like a thing, but it is what it is. So when they come back from their bye, the Thanksgiving week will be that following week. The Colts host the Bucks on Sunday, and the Patriots on that Sunday go visit the team that has stopped them twice in the Super Bowl and visit the New York Giants for what should be a barn burner.
You listen here. You take that back.
I don't know why, but that's where my brain went when I saw that game. I was like, oh, the team that beat them.
Listen, when Danny DeVito beats Mac Jones,
he'll stop making Jersey Mike commercials. I don't know.
TD says, listen, I don't got to worry about that. I still live with my parents. When I go home, chicken cutlets are made, my bed's made because my mom still takes care of it for me.
And does his laundry. Yeah. I'm like, bro. You're 25.
Listen, she's just looking at him like, listen, you just keep fucking making money and I'll fucking fold all the laundry you want.
Yeah, everything is messed up. But yeah, because I don't think they've moved their clocks yet.
I'm not so sure I like the trade-off of 1 hour for my fucking sanity in the middle of the winter when I go to work and it's dark and I come out and it's dark.
Well, thank Ben Franklin. I don't know. It was his invention.
Listen,
it's one of the things he actually invented instead of the 90,000 things we credit to him, even though he just stole it because he created the patent
maybe we should
office.
Throw that out and give the award to fucking Uncle Ben for the rice. You know what I mean?
Well, like dumbass Congress has voted to get rid of it, and the old people keep going, nope, we're keeping it. It's too complicated to remove it. I'm like, no, it's not. You just stop moving the clock.
It was literally invented so farmers would get the extra time. Like, listen.
Exactly.
They got all the fucking technical tools in the world. They don't need fucking daylight.
It's because we didn't have lights on tractors back then. Right. Now they do. So, fucking get rid of this stupid hour.
Fuck off.
But Europe did it a week before us. Okay, I didn't know. I don't pay attention to Europe.
Oh, look at them, early adopters.
All right, the first game we called yesterday, we both got it right. And Tesco, if he's here, I'm sorry that we got it right, but the Green Bay shit stains lost 23-19.
Could have won the game.
Dumb fuck threw 2 interceptions in the red zone on the final 2 drives. I mean, he literally can't do anything in the red zone good. It is atrociously bad. He is Kyle Bowler of the NFL. 21 of 40, so barely 50% completion percentage, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Aaron Jones went back to sleep and stopped playing football again. I don't know. Last week, the formula was hand the ball to Aaron Jones. We decided that's not it this week. And Kenny Pickett still is a really, really fucking bad quarterback, but he continues to win football games, and he won it this time because we have the 30th ranked running defense in the NFL, and Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren feasted on that terrible run defense.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how good they made Najee Harris look.
And Jaylen Warren. I know he's good, but like 15 carries, 101 yards, like holy crap.
So they were 31 carries for 180 something, 185-ish, 183, 180.
183. 31 carries, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yep. No, it was atrocious. I give credit to Joe Barry for how good our secondary is, but our run defense is so bad that we need to remove Joe Barry. I'm amazed he still has a job this morning. I'm also amazed that Matt LaFleur still has a job. I think Jordan Love needs to be replaced because it's time. I agree with Colin Cowherd, though. Colin Cowherd said, give him till Thanksgiving. If he doesn't show any improvement, just move on. Just even if it's Sean Clifford for the rest of the season, just move on.
Well,
you don't have him.
Like you said, you're not seeing the improvement. So
it's just continuously the same issues. I don't get it. He's overthrowing receivers. He's missing wide open receivers. Every time we're in the red zone, there's a chance of a pick. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was watching red zone yesterday, every single time we flip back to the Packers game and Scott Hansen goes, this is what just happened in the Packers game. I was like, here we go. And I know it didn't happen until the end of the game, but every time I was waiting.
Yeah,
I was fucking waiting for it.
Him and Mac Jones, bunkmates.
But I got to give credit. Carrington Valentine covered Deontay Johnson. He had 1 catch. This kid's a rookie.
Just a rookie. Valentine?
No, Valentine sucked. But Valentine, as a rookie, had a hell of a game again. He covered Puka Nacua the week before for 3 catches for 27 yards, and he stopped Deontay Johnson to 27 with 1 catch. I don't even think it was 27. I don't know. It was 17.
You're acting like it's hard to do.
He had 80-something yards the week before. I mean, it's not hard to do with Kenny Pickett as your quarterback.
I was going to say, hold on a second.
This is a team
counting the other half of the equation, the guy that can't throw.
But this is a team that I'm so sorry for Steelers fans. I really am, because you're winning your way into keeping Matt Canada because you're just winning games, so they're not going to change things. And you're winning your way into keeping Kenny Pickett as your quarterback. You're never going to win a Super Bowl with either of them as your quarterback and your head coach.
You're going to waste TJ Watt.
Yep. It's just going to continue. The same story for Pittsburgh. We'll finish 10-7 every year, but they're never going to win a playoff game. People keep forgetting they have just the same amount of playoff wins in the past 10 years as the Cowboys. But people forget about that because everyone's so amazed that they keep having winning records. And I'm like, how good is it to go 10-7 and get bounced right away? But they'll continue doing that. Good job for the Steelers moving to 6-3, coming up to a half game short of the Ravens here in the AFC North. They get the Browns this week in what should be a hell of a game in Cleveland. And Green Bay gets to face the Chargers. I'm excited for Jair Alexander versus Keenan Allen. So Jair better stop fucking playing. I'm the most injured corner in the league now that I got paid, because he needs to get his fucking dumb, lazy ass on the field.
He's hanging out with Bakhtiari.
Those two, man. Get paid, go home. I don't get it. I just don't freaking get it. But I mean, I wouldn't want to play either right now if I was Jair, with being the 4th ranked pass defense in the NFL, but your quarterback can't put up 20 points. I mean, we're averaging like 16 points a game. The Chargers are going to shit on us. I mean, if Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris could do what they just did, I don't want to know what Austin Eckler can do against us.
Probably nothing. I mean, it's the Chargers, right? Like, they'll find a way to
They'll find a way. Yeah. But anyway, those are those 2 games next. Vikings Saints is the next one we called. This was a wild ride.
Give me the Pastrana, baby.
A 21-point second quarter fueled the Vikings in this game to a 27-19 win. The Pastrana has just taken over the NFL. He gets prime time this coming Sunday.
He's better than Kirk Cousins, that's for sure.
But I really love watching Josh Dobbs play football.
Bro,
also, if you guys are on TikTok if any of you are on TikTok, Boogie, I know you are. I don't know about Tesco. Follow Josh Dobbs. His TikTok page is legendary.
Hilarious, right? Like,
he is just wonderful.
First off, I just want you to know, ESPN doesn't have this game listed as a game that happened.
What game?
Oh, there it is. Okay. I kept scrolling by and I'm like, where the fuck is this game? Like, why do they not have it listed? It just kept doing that thing where it scroll like a little too much. And I was just like, they definitely fucking played.
I don't know Derek Carr's injury.
Oh, so he's in concussion protocol and he has something else.
So Derek Carr probably won't play this coming week if the Saints are on bye, so that doesn't matter. I think they're on bye. I could be way off. No, their next game is the 26th. They're definitely on bye.
In this game, the Saints lost Derek Carr, Michael Thomas, and Marshawn Lattimore.
To be fair, Michael Thomas should have been lost anyway.
Derek Carr suffers concussion and right shoulder injury at the same time.
Yeah, Michael Thomas has a significant knee injury. I think it's called prison. And Marshawn Lattimore is dealing with
will do him well.
And Marshawn Lattimore is dealing with an ankle sprain. So the Saints lose 3 big players to their roster. Derek Carr being kind of big. He kind of hurts this team a little bit. He's a little passive with the ball. Jay Miz is the opposite, and both of his picks were on deep shots that he didn't need to be taken.
Listen, he was just practicing for the Hail Mary.
He came into the game, drove down the field, and scored a touchdown. And then I was like, oh, shit, Jay Miz is going to be playing ball.
And then Jay Miz of old came back, baby.
And then he threw into triple coverage. And I was like, okay. He was very Jay Miz in this game. I will give the Saints credit. He was very Jay Miz.
Listen, that throw to A.T. Perry, sick. The throws to the other team, not so sick.
A.T. Perry, though, what a catch. What a beast. I fucking love A.T. Perry.
That was such a good catch.
For those who don't know, I met A.T. Perry back doing my old job. He was one of my top, I want this guy in the league. He is a really chill dude. But I was so happy. I literally stood up and go, there's my boy. When I heard Perry, I was like, no way. Because he's been out the whole season with an injury. He came into the league this year injured and didn't get to play. So I was so happy to see him in his first game come out and get a tutty. But Jameis is a beast at throwing to both teams. So I think the Saints will survive that. I don't know. Derek Carr might be back. Like I said, they get a bye. So who knows? I don't know. And Minnesota gets Denver. They get Denver on Sunday Night Football.
Either resurgent Denver.
Their defense is back. I don't know about the offense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Russell Wilson isn't going to throw for over 200 yards.
Hey. I have him in a parlay today to throw for 212.
Okay, where's he at right now?
I don't know. On the field. 47. 47.
47. I'm doing the math.
He's 4 more yards than Josh Allen, all right?
That was my favorite stat of Sunday, and we'll get there. But the fact that in the first half, the Dallas Cowboys had more points than the Giants had yards.
Yeah, I know. We're going to have to unfortunately talk about that game. But now I do want to ask you, do you think Ty Chandler is about to become the actual true running back 1 in Minnesota? He didn't have a great game, but he had 15 touches while Madison only had 8. Oh, Madison had concussion. That's right. Never mind. Madison went out of the game with a concussion. So maybe we'll see. Ty Chandler did have a touchdown, which Madison does not have on the season.
I mean, Madison's just awful, right? Like he's definitely
a true number 2, 100%. Yeah. True number 2. Just my guy is tired. I need to run a few plays type guy. Well, there's another 12 yards. So there you go. He's starting to click. I got 10 minutes. If he can get to 90 before halftime, I got a shot.
That was a rough hit on Sutton, though. On that, obviously, it's a couple of plays back for you.
But Hawkinson had a hell of a game. They said that
had
Kevin
a hell
O'Connell
of a first half.
Well, Kevin O'Connell before the game said he was going to be limited on his snap count. Don't expect too much. And then he dominated the first half. And I was like, oh, shit. I benched him. In our league, I benched him because I didn't. I didn't have an option.
I was going to say you didn't bench him. He certainly had points in our league.
Yeah, I had him against in Dylan and Durf's league. I benched him because I was like, he said he's going to be limited. I don't know what the fuck to do. So I went with Jonnu Smith, and I regret every decision of that. But
not a good choice.
But anyway, Minnesota, like I said, gets Denver. Saints on a bye. When the Saints come back from a bye, I believe they get the Atlanta Falcons. They do indeed, in what will unfortunately somehow be a battle for the division potentially. I don't know. That division is a nightmare. I can't figure it out. Our next game we called was Bengals game. The Bengals and the Texans. I was debating
your heart would have been right.
Yeah, I literally was mad at myself this entire game.
Yeah.
Because I just knew I should have taken the Texans. Somewhere in my heart was telling me.
If Tyler Boyd can make a catch.
Yeah, but if Joe Burrow didn't throw those 2 picks, like there's a lot of things that went wrong in this game for the Bengals. I don't think this is like I've seen so many people saying, "Oh, there they go, they're done. They're not really there."
Indictment on the Bengals. The Texans surprise people, and the Bengals are coming off a good stretch. They're probably a little banged up.
No T. Higgins.
Henderson avoided a major injury on like that fluke play where he gets rolled up on after the play.
Yeah. Yep.
So they didn't lose Hendrickson for long term. It was just a hyperextended knee. I just think like Cincinnati just kind of they stalled too much early on. After that first scoring drive, they punted 5 straight times.
Yeah, they also stopped learning how to stop the run. Since when is Devin Singletary a 150-yard rusher?
Oh, my Lord. He had a day.
And by the way, Noah Brown, holy crap, this kid is special.
That dude's he's legit. Like, just outstanding day for him, too.
He is really playing well with CJ Stroud. They have a connection, which is huge. Because Noah Brown's not a great receiver, but if your quarterback is good and can put the ball in spots nobody else can, and he trusts you, that's going to give you some good days.
Like I thought they were cooked when what's his name dropped that ball going out of bounds.
Tank?
Yeah, Tank Dell. I was like, oh, they're not going to get it. And then all of a sudden he just goes back, throws it to Brown, and Brown breaks the tackle. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that was Noah Brown, man. What a player he has become for the Texans. He's been good for multiple weeks now for them. I'm really happy. DeMeco Ryans is currently running the Coach of the Year odds favorite in Vegas. I love it. Good for DeMeco right off the rip. CJ Stroud is already – now people are starting to annoy me with him, though, because so many people are like, he could be an MVP. He's not MVP yet.
No.
Yes, he's Rookie of the Year. Yes, there's no doubt about it. With Bijan being because of Arthur Smith. He's probably Rookie of the Year because he's elevating everybody on this team of nobodies. But he is – this Texans team, the Jags better watch out because that division –
I feel like the Texans are scarier than the Jags right now.
I agree. Was that a catch? Why on 4th and 2 are we making this the play?
It's the fucking Broncos, bro.
Isn't Sean the OC? Oh, you gotta be fucking me. Cortland Sutton. Oh, the man can play football.
Wait, he still plays?
Yeah. I will say this. The Bengals, you're fine. You know, a good division game. I mean, a good conference game, a good battle of AFC teams here. One on the rise. The Bengals are on the rise. It was just like you said, like you said earlier, the Bengals just stuttered early and it just cost them in the end. Plus, not stopping Devin Singletary is huge. But I will say this about the Texans. CJ Stroud has got to start. Those fumbles can't happen. That has to stop.
Yeah, that would be costly.
2 fumbles lost. They're lucky they won that game along with that pick. But they get the Cardinals this week, so they should easily walk that one out. But we'll see. And the Bengals, they play Thursday night against the Ravens in Baltimore. And I'm excited as hell for a really good Thursday night game.
That is 100% a catch, bro.
I think so, 100%.
That one foot is inbounds, and he dragged the other one. Unless he bobbled it at the ground, that's a catch.
There's blue between him and the white. So I agree with you 100%. I think that is a touchdown to Cortland Sutton. And that is a perfect placement by Russell Wilson, by the way.
You don't hear that often.
He's so good at that corner catch crap. Like I said about Tyler Lockett earlier, he's so good at that corner spot. But, Bengals-Ravens Thursday. We'll have to pick that tonight. That is really, really freaking hard. You might see on Facebook and our Discord that we both might change our pick throughout the week. I don't know. This is going to be a really hard game to call early. But
I think
we'll call it early.
Who's more banged up?
Yeah, I got to look at the injuries before we go. But anyway, we got to keep going anyway. The next one is the Bengals' opponent, the choke artist team of the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens blew a 14-point lead. 27-9 to be exact, so a 16-point lead and
allowed Deshaun Watson to go 14 down the stretch.
Yeah, to the Cleveland Browns, the hapless Browns. Jerome Ford had a good game, which you wouldn't expect against the Ravens defense. Amari Cooper's still Amari Cooper. The man's gonna eat. But Lamar, man, you can't. These constant mistakes have got to stop. They're just such dumb interceptions. He's just making such dumb plays.
Hold on. I get it. And I don't know if you remember the play where Kareem Hunt ran over Patrick Queen.
Yes. And Michael Pierce.
To get into the end zone. And then did you see the block that was thrown on Kyle Van Noy?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Now the Browns. So what I like about the Browns, and people are like, oh, Deshaun Watson's not going to get them there. Maybe not, but they are a fucking angry team. They play, oh, my sweet Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know how kickers miss extra points like wide. I don't get it. It's just straight on. But there's your doink from Will fucking Lutz, one of the fourth most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Okay, but hold on before we move on here. Okay, Baltimore defensively. I mean, you know what the Cleveland Browns defense is. Okay,
this was 1 and 2.
Can we just talk about the fact that Roquan Smith had a total of 21 tackles with 14 solo in a single fucking game?
Yeah.
The Bears traded him away to the Baltimore Ravens, and this is
for a second-round pick.
This is what I mean about the Bears. This dude is a fucking animal. An animal. And they were just like, bye. Yeah. Don't want to pay you. It's like, who are you going to pay in return? Nobody on offense. We got Montez
Sweat. That's who they paid instead. Montez freaking Sweat.
Oh my God. It's just like, you guys are awful at selecting talent. You guys, listen, your staff should go work for Bill Belichick.
I do want to say this though. The Ravens did confuse me in this game. Gus Edwards was not working because Gus Edwards is not let's be honest, he's not a guy you want running the ball down the middle of the field. He is a guy you want in the red zone. So why they went away from Keanu Mitchell, who was 3 for 34? I mean, 38 of them were on one carry, but one of them was a stupid freaking sweep.
Yeah,
and Myles Garrett ate him.
Then he had that 30-something yard catch.
They went away from him so fast, and I was like, hello? Baltimore? Tap, tap, tap.
Is this kind of like the Bill Belichick thing, like smartest guy in the room?
I don't know, because this is what I keep reminding Baltimore fans, and I hate doing it because they get so angry. But the guy is a special teams coordinator before he became a head coach, John Harbaugh. They have the worst special teams unit in the NFL. Justin Tucker has only missed 1 field goal this season, but he's credited for 4 because 3 blocked field goals already this season against Justin Tucker. One of your best pieces can't kick a field goal confidently with that kind of crap in front of him. They've had 2 blocked punts this season. They're just atrocious. They've had a botched onside kick. They've had botched punts on the actual recovering team. They're just so bad. And we talked about it. You sent me the thing. All 3 of their losses this year, they have had 14-point leads down the stretch and lost all the games. All 3 of those games.
It just scares me going into the playoffs because they're one of the contenders, but they just can't beat teams down the stretch.
What do you do? Like, what are you going to do when Joe Cool comes into town this Thursday? If you have a 14-point lead, I'm not taking you. I'm taking Joe Cool because apparently you're going to blow it. I'm very unconfident now after what I just watched. And I saw people immediately, Ravens fans, man, immediately. Injuries. We got injured in this game. Every team has to overcome injuries, man. You got to overcome injuries if you want to be a Super Bowl champion. When the Packers won the Super Bowl against the Steelers, they had 16 players on the IR. Like, you got to overcome injuries. It's just part of the game of football.
Fuck, the Denver Broncos won a Super Bowl and their quarterback couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah, and he had no neck, and his head was swollen too large.
He had a Barry Bonds head on a, lightweight neck.
But I don't know. The Ravens concern me after this one. I'm a little nervous that they are just going to continue to choke games away. Lamar's got to start protecting the football better. He is now at 2 for 1, 10 touchdowns, 5 picks, and he's also lost 4 fumbles on the season. So he's got 9 turnovers in his 9 games or 10 games played. So he's starting to get up to Josh Allen's level. Hello? A hairball? What the fuck was that?
That was so good.
Hi, Kiwi. But the Browns, 6-3, just like the Steelers. They play the Steelers this Sunday. That division is so close because the Ravens are 7-3, the one team without a bye so far in the division. This division is insane because you still have Cincinnati. You still got to deal with Cincinnati. They're not going away.
Again, just because they lost to the Texans.
There you go. Your guys on the field getting points for you. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Ravens have to fix this blowing leads thing. I saw a Ravens fan say, "Oh, well, we played a top defense." You have the number 2 defense. What are you making excuses for? Like, it's not like you're playing the 1 defense with the 31st defense. You're literally rated the number 2 defense. So you make this an even game. Your offense should have been better. That was so disappointing to me. I'm still upset with Baltimore for losing this one. But
again, it's just a matter of fact they can't close out a game, right?
Yep. Stop doing what doesn't work, or stop doing what's working and going to what's not working when you're closing out a game. Just start running the football. Like, just let Keanu Mitchell run the ball. Get Justice Hill in there if Gus Edwards isn't working. Just throw what's working into the game plan. But whatever. The next one we called, we both got wrong. 20-6. The Buccaneers just made Will Levis look like what I've always said he was. The film's out.
He looks like the man made of mayo.
Sacked 4 times. He was holding onto the ball too long. I mean, his offensive line is rated 32nd in the league currently, so not great. But he's just holding onto the ball way too long. Derrick Henry couldn't get going, which doesn't help him at all. DeAndre Hopkins was blanketed by Carlton Davis.
And actually punched out an interception.
Yeah, what a smart man. These veteran receivers make some smart plays, and that was one of them. But Levis, 19 of 39, 199 yards and a pick, no tutties. He handles sacks well. He gets up, pops up, angry. He doesn't lose the ball. He doesn't carry the ball loose, so I give him credit for that. Baker, you know what? Behind this offensive line, I'm going to tell you what, Rachaad White's starting to wake up a little bit. He's only averaging 2.6 yards a carry in this game, but he's starting to get so involved in the pass game that he's going to become a problem in the running game. I just wish they had a number 2 because they don't. They just don't.
Yeah, they really don't.
But Tampa Bay fixes the 4-game losing streak they were on and picks up a win. And unbelievably, it is now New Orleans, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay all tied at the top of this division, battling game by game.
Let's just make it closer. Let's just make it closer.
Unfortunately, this division is going to stick around with this. The Titans moved to 3-6 after this loss, in my opinion, helping themselves. I don't know what they need in the draft. They need a lot. They need a wide receiver 1. They need a better quarterback. They need honestly an offensive line.
Listen, Matt, just give me your shopping list for Christmas, okay?
I don't know. The Titans need everything, but potentially a running back. I don't know. I don't, and a defensive tackle because Jeffrey Simmons is a monster. There you go. I don't know. 20-6 though. Buccaneers win. Not really a fun game, but a good game for the Bucs to get right. They play the Niners though this week in San Francisco, so
that's going to be demoralizing.
Yeah, and the Titans go visit their division rival Jags, and the Jags are hopefully going to get back on track, but we'll see how that game goes. We'll call that Sunday morning, so I ain't worried. Speaking of their division rival Jags, the upset of the week, in my opinion, was a way off. Holy shit. The Niners win 34-3.
I had faith.
My favorite stat in this game was that, and again, I really thought this was going to be closer, so I'm sorry. But that was that Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa, and Chase Young all had 4 or more pressures each.
Can you imagine just lining up because you got to guard that Bosa, and then it's like, oh, by the way, Chase Young's now on the other side.
Yeah, and Javon Hargrave and freaking Eric Armstead in the middle. Like, I'm sorry, but what?
You have all those guys. Then you start to look at the linebackers.
Yeah, you got Fred Warner standing there because unfortunately.
Then you look on the back end, you're like, where the fuck do I put the ball?
Yeah, unfortunately, right now they're without Greenlaw because I can't imagine how much worse this game would have been with him because him and Warner, the way they play together is disgusting.
Warner is literally just a missile of a person.
Yeah. Yeah. He's my favorite linebacker for a reason. I love watching him play football. And, man. I couldn't have been more wrong. I thought Purdy was going to get pressured. Even in my DraftKings sportsbook bet, for people who didn't know, I took Purdy to throw a pick in this game, and it never happened. I thought this was going to be one of those Josh Allen gets to Brock Purdy like 5 times, and we see – I'm not saying sacks, but I'm saying pressures, and we see a rushed pick or something. But no, Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback that looked like dog shit. But I am concerned. I will say that I learned a little bit in this game that I have to be concerned that maybe without ETN being functional, the Jags might not have an offense.
Right.
All right. Well, here we go. A 1-point game.
All right. Keep this one going. I use the restroom real quick.
All right. So in this game, Trevor Lawrence, 17-29, 185 yards, 2 picks, no touchdowns, a fumble lost, and sacked 5 times in this game. C.J. Beathard came into the game for 5 yards at the end for 1 for 2. Not that that's relevant. Travis Etienne, though, when I said he couldn't get going, first off, they fell behind way too fucking fast to use Travis Etienne because you can't use your running back when you can't fucking when the game is out of hand because you're going to run out the clock. So Etienne only got 9 carries in this game because of how fast the Bills fell behind. Or the Bills, sorry. I'm watching the Bills. The Jags fell behind. But again, the Jags offense, the first time he hasn't gotten going, the Jags offense had got literally nothing done. So that's concerning moving forward. Christian Kirk, though, 6 catches, 104 yards against a pretty good defense. So good that's the positive point for the Jags. Christian Kirk did his job. No one else did. On the flip side, Christian McCaffrey's record run of time, he has tied the record for most touchdowns in consecutive games. He did not get it. They tried so hard at the end, literally ran 4 plays at the end of the game for him in the goal line situation to try and get him into the end zone. Couldn't make it. So he finishes with a tie of the record instead of breaking the record. Still had a good day, 16 of 95 for no tutties, but 16 of 95 and then 6 of 47 in the air. But the offense looked open. With Deebo Samuel back, the offense looked fast-paced and wide open. And, of course, Trent Williams playing left tackle makes a massive difference. So the Niners get to move forward with confidence in this team. I did think it was funny Sam Darnold came into the game to kneel. That was pretty good. So I am pretty happy with what I saw out of the Niners, considering I was one of the ones that jumped out and said they're done. This 3-game losing streak is just too much for them to come back from. They came back from it beautifully on the road in a 1 o'clock time slot on the East Coast. All of the things against them. San Francisco to Jacksonville is a hell of a travel, especially for a West Coast team coming to an East Coast time schedule. That was a hell of a travel. They did it well. They handled it well. They go back home. They get the Bucs, so they get an easy game to come back home to. Everybody's back healthy. The Bucs probably are going to get stomped on. The Niners are a 11-point favorite at the current moment in time. And the Jags get to stay home and face their division rival Titans, where they're a 6.5-point favorite at the current moment. So, but I don't know. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. Before this game, I had all the faith in Jacksonville, had no faith in San Francisco. This has removed any hope, in my opinion, the Jags. Because at one point, in my mind, I was like, it's the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Jags. That's the AFC competitors for the Super Bowl. The Jags are no longer a competitor for the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I don't think they win the division. I know people are going to say overreaction Monday. I right now think the Texans are a better team than the Jags. And I'm going to stick to that. I think the Texans currently are the better team. They already beat the Jags this year. They'll play them again later, but the Texans already beat the Jags this year. They're starting to get momentum. They're starting to get belief, which is huge. Their quarterback is starting to really understand the league better and better every week. He makes mistakes and he goes, give me the ball. He wants to go out there and be the guy. He wants to be the guy that can be the guy for the team. They now have a pairing at running back, I think. I don't think you take Devin Singletary out of the offense now. So him and Dameon Pierce together, I think this is going to be a problem for Jacksonville. And I don't know how you stop Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown. I don't. Robert Woods. I don't. This team is. It's really starting to make me think Jacksonville might lose this division. So, hola, senor. I don't know if you heard me, but the Niners are an 11-point favorite next week.
Well, I like what they did against the Jags, right? And
yes,
when they're healthy with Trent Williams, obviously they're a much better team. But they have to stay healthy. Now, they get Chase Young, and that made a hell of a difference up front.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, if they can stay healthy, they are a juggernaut. But I feel like they're also just a really high-end roller coaster.
My biggest thing is you have to be able to win in adversity, and they can't seemingly win when they don't have their best piece, which is concerning.
They're also not good trailing.
Yeah, which again, that's a big problem. When you play teams like the Eagles, you might be trailing, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know.
You see it with Dallas too, right? Like Dallas is a much better team from the lead.
They can't play with trailing. They really can't. So I don't know. We'll see. The Niners are a very interesting team, but the Jags have bigger red flags for me after this one. This is out of a bye at home, a West Coast to East Coast team. Like, you shouldn't have been stomped, and they got stomped. Like, losing's fine, but just straight demolished. That really threw me off.
But San Francisco has now done that to the Jags, Dallas. Like, they demoralized Dallas when they played them.
Yeah.
And right now, if you look at the way the standings would pan out, if the Eagles stay the Eagles, Dallas is going to have to go on the road, probably run into San Francisco. And that's not going to end well for Dallas.
Right now in the NFC, it would be Dallas would be, shockingly, Dallas might actually be the number 2 wild card. I don't know how the tiebreaker goes with Seattle right now. They play Seattle in 2 weeks, so that would make a difference right there. But as of right now, Dallas would play the Lions. No, they would play San Francisco in San Francisco as of right now.
Yeah.
And we already saw that game.
Yeah.
We already saw that one. Yeah. No, the one.
We know how that ends
Seven would
up.
play the Lions. Sorry. So, yeah. The Saints would play. No. The Vikings would play the Lions right now if the season ended how it is.
Who would you take in a Lions-Dallas matchup?
Lions, because they'd be in Detroit.
Right. Me too. Just checking.
Speaking of which, that's the next game we go to here. The Lions win 41-38 on a game-winning field goal. Justin Herbert couldn't have done much more in this game.
Can we just fire Brandon Staley already?
I'm not taking away from Jared Goff. He couldn't have done much more in this game either. But David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs help a lot. Austin Eckler kind of helps, but Justin Herbert is just I can't speak enough on how talented this kid is, but he just can't get a coach. His coaching is terrible. They're bad in the red zone. They're plain awful in the red zone. They might be the third worst red zone team in the league. So I don't know what the hell the Chargers are going to do about it. They got Keenan Allen. They've got a 6'8" tight end. I don't know how you're bad in the red zone with those two alone. Jalen Guyton is a pretty physical receiver, so I don't know how you don't get him involved.
Did you see the dart he threw between 2 defenders to Allen from about 40 yards out?
Yeah. No, he's unbelievable. Justin Herbert's unbelievable. But when you can't win games because your coach can't do the one thing he's supposed to do, he's literally their defensive play caller. Not only is their head coach, he's their defensive play caller. And I take away the run. All right, look, I won't criticize them on the run defense because this is the first week in 9 weeks. I looked it up. First week in 9 weeks, they've allowed more than 78 yards rushing to a rusher. So this is the first time they've been bad against the run in 9 weeks. So good for them. But their pass defense has been bottom 5 under Brandon Staley for 22 weeks of his 3-year tender. Bottom 5. He's a defensive fucking minded coach. He came in as a defensive coordinator. He has Asante Samuel Jr. and fucking Derwin James and can't coach defense.
Hold on 1 second. Can we talk about Derwin James for a second?
The most penalized player in the NFL right now.
I don't think I'd re-sign him.
He does so much, but he does so much wrong at the same time. He has the most personal fouls. He has the most unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. He's also got just the most penalties. I also agree with you, but they already gave him a long-term deal. Second and 20.
He's been getting beat outside of that stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Derwin James fan. I think he's fun to watch because he flies all over the field, but I don't think he's good in coverage. Like you said, He gets beat a lot, and he gives up so many free yards to dumb penalties. But they gave him a 4-year, $76 million contract, so they're stuck with him.
Yeah, they should be in the running for a new head coach already.
Yeah, but Chargers lose this game. It was a good game, don't get me wrong, and it's not like it's a shame to lose to the Lions, but there's no defense. I can't get behind a head coach who can't coach his own position.
I think like Justin Herbert averaged over 8 yards per throw. Jared Goff averaged like over 10.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
23 of 33. So 23 completions for 333 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And it's not like he's throwing to fucking like world-class Keenan Allens. I'm not saying Amon-Ra St. Brown ain't on the same level as Keenan Allen because he is. But other than that, it's like Khalif Raymond and shit. Like this should be defendable. But
they gave up 333 in the air, but they also gave up almost 200 on the ground.
Yeah. No, that was the Lions for back-to-back weeks have 500 yards.
Yeah.
Offensively. That's fucking nuts. But they move on. The Lions win this game. They move to 7-2. They're unbelievably good right now. Their defense is very bad, though. It is very exposable. The Lions secondary. It's not pretty. And their front really is Aiden Hutchinson. And if he doesn't get home, they don't hit you. But they get the Bears this week, so they don't really have much of a test. Actually, they're not that bad. They're 79 yards is all they allow against the run. So they're third best in the league against the run.
Okay.
But they're 20th against the pass, and they're 21st in points allowed. So their defense isn't terrible, but they're just not – they're not as elite as you'd hope when they play a team like Philadelphia or San Francisco. You're going to need a top-level defense, and I don't feel it. But their offense is rated second and fourth in most categories. So, I mean, they're doing everything right on the offensive side of the ball, which Dan Campbell is a tight ends coach. So, before he became a head coach, he is an offensive genius.
Also, wasn't he a tight end in the NFL?
Yeah, for the Cowboys and the Lions. Yeah. Right. Cowboys and the Lions. I was going to say Saints, but I was like, that's not right. And their offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, is an absolute brilliant player, offensive-minded guy. He is a genius. Like, he is – I mean, people are saying, like –
everybody's saying he's getting a head coaching job.
Well, he had offers. He was actually asked to come back for a second interview for the Colts, but he said he wanted to stay in Detroit for another year because he feels like he can get them farther this year. So he wanted to stay, and he stayed. He took down the second interview. But this will probably be the year he gets a job offer he'll take. I don't know where, because I don't know who's going to need I don't know who's going to need a coach. I just haven't figured it out yet in my head. Las Vegas, obviously, unless they stick with Antonio Pierce, which they might. I don't know, because you guys, even if you fire yours, you already have the next one in building. Everyone's saying Gerard Mayo is the next guy. So,
yep.
I don't know. I don't know who would need a coach at this point. Besides the Bears, which he could go to the Bears.
Bears.
You know, he is a really brilliant offensive-minded dude. So maybe him with Fields, if he keeps Fields, would work. But I also think Lincoln Riley's a player that might actually get wherever Caleb Williams might get drafted, might call up Lincoln Riley for an offensive coordinator or a head coaching job. So we'll see. But the Lions get the Bears this week, and the Chargers, I already said, get to go visit Green Bay. I'm hoping it's snowing. That's our only hope in God that we have a chance to win this game. So I'm going to pull up the weather in Green Bay. Because my hopes and dreams rely on a bad weather game. No, high is 45, low is 31, but no weather called for on Sunday. So unless that changes, we're going to get stomped. Next game, Arizona, Atlanta. I'm amazed Atlanta lost this game. They got the lead.
The toddler, bro.
Ritter got him back in the lead, and then the toddler ran for his life and got it was like a 13-yard run in the middle of the field from like his own 38, got to midfield, got another completion. They kick a game-winning field goal as time expires. Trey McBride had a hell of a game. I was shocked Hollywood Brown didn't get involved in this game. But he's facing A.J. Terrell, who might honestly be the highest-rated corner in the NFL at the current moment. Did I just miss another pick?
Maybe.
Oh, my bet line, I did. I took 3 turnovers in this game total, and that's already 3 all from one team. So, thank you. Anyway, Bijan had a game. I gotta give him credit. You know, I don't know if it's you that sent me it. Somebody sent me this video of Arthur Smith going, "Oh, we need to get Bijan more involved," and he was a punt returner in this game at one point. The Falcons clearly have one issue moving forward. Besides his name, Arthur Smith. Besides that guy, they've got another issue moving forward. and it is their quarterback room is horrendous. Heineke was 8 of 15 for 55 yards before he got hurt. And he got hurt in the third quarter. He was coming up to the fourth quarter with 55 yards. They've got to figure this out. I don't know what they're going to do, but they've got to figure it out. Because you've got one of the best athletic tight ends in the league, Kyle Pitts. You don't use him well. You don't use him right. So he looks like he doesn't play well, but he does. You got Bijan Robinson. You got Algier. You got Cordero Patterson. And if that doesn't get you into the end zone, you have one of the best kickers in the league, if not currently the best kicker in the league. You might actually have the best kicker currently in the NFL. Younghoe Koo is unbelievable. But your coach sucks, and your quarterback room is a nightmare. So I don't know what Atlanta's going to do. I don't know if they're even going to have a position to draft one of those top guys. I mean, I don't know. Realistically, you will, right? Because you got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix,
Michigan quarterback.
Michael Penix, the Michigan kid, and Sam Hartman. That's just 6 that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. There's probably others.
There's about 10.
LSU's quarterback's probably going to make it in the league. I think Florida State's kid's only a sophomore, so I don't think we'll see him. But like I don't know what Atlanta's going to do in this situation. Arizona hurts themselves with this win. They moved to 3rd or 4th in the draft order now. They're going to win some games with Kyler Murray. Not a lot, but they're going to win a few more than they would have without him. They get Houston this week. That won't be a win. But, they got games like the Rams coming up and the Bears. They could easily win either of them because the Rams, I don't know. The signing of Carson Wentz has me curious about Stafford's health. They claim he'll be okay after the bye this week and be back this week for the Rams, but I don't know.
I kind of feel like Kyler does something that a lot of people don't realize. And like when you just watch him play, he's just faster. Like he just scrambles in the weirdest ways. Like I said, I pick on him for running like a toddler, but fuck. Hey, like when you watch it, he's just faster than everybody else.
Yeah. He's not Justin Fields fast, but he has these he's got such a good burst. He's got such a good acceleration that he just gets free quick. And I don't know. He's not great throwing the ball. He has a pretty spiral.
He throws a pretty ball, but he's not great throwing the ball.
He's not accurate with his pretty ball, and that's a problem. But I don't know. I don't know. Cardinals are hurting themselves because I don't know if what they want. I don't know if they know what they want. Do they want a quarterback? Are they happy with Kyler? I don't know if they even know. So at this point, they're going to have to just see how the season plays out. But they moved to 2-8, a whopping 2-8. So there goes that shit game. Did I say who Atlanta gets next? I don't know. Do they get a bye? They get a bye, and then they play the Saints.
Atlanta's on bye?
Yeah, Atlanta and New Orleans are both on a bye, and then they play each other.
Ooh.
All right. Commanders in New Orleans. Not New Orleans. Commanders in Seattle. 29-26 final score.
Closer than I expected, but
Sam Howell is a slinger, man. 3 touchdowns, 312 yards, no picks, just lost the fumble, but he is their guy. There's no way I've seen Commanders fans going, let's just get this season over with and get our quarterback. I don't know how he's not. They're the 28th ranked offensive line in the NFL. He's the second most sacked quarterback in the league.
And he's putting up 350-yard games.
He's literally leading the league in passing. How is he not in passing yards? How is he not your guy?
Because when it comes to the NFL, all they care about is winning.
It's not his fault the defense sucks.
Well, listen, it's also not his fault they traded away their best 2 pass rushers, but here we are.
And I don't know, Terry McLaurin literally found out what it's like to play against Devon Witherspoon.
Oh, Scary Terry wasn't so scary now, was he?
Halloween's over. Scary Terry no longer scary, I guess. I don't know. 4 for 33 is all he put up. I mean, Devon Witherspoon's a freak. But 119 yards to his running back in Brian Robinson. So
I think
guess,
half of that was that 58-yard run.
Yeah, yep. The 51-yard reception. Yeah, that was half. And then Antonio Gibson was the number 2 receiver. So his 2 running backs were his 2 leading receivers in this game. So I don't know. Maybe get him some receivers, get him some offensive line, and let Sam Howell be your guy. I mean, really, you just need a new head coach. You need a new defensive coordinator because Jack Del Rio has been coaching the league since I was a toddler. So maybe it's time for him to go bye-bye. And, let's see what Sam Howell can do because they lost this game, and it sucks. But they looked good against the team at home in Seattle in the rain. They played a good game.
Right.
Just unfortunately for them, covering Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is pretty hard to do. And when your top receiver can't get involved, the Commanders did what they could. I'm not upset by that loss for them. I think that was a good loss for them. Like, there are good losses to have when you're a mediocre team, and that was a good one. Because let's be real, Seattle's a playoff team right now. So,
well, and it took Seattle a game-winning drive, right?
Yeah, game-winning drive at the end of the game. Yeah, I don't know. I was a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie. Seattle did not look as good as I thought they would. I thought they were gonna come out and just say, "Oh, that Baltimore game was a fluke," but they let the Commanders stay in this game the whole game. I mean, they were trailing, like you said, game-winning drive. But Jason Myers game-winning field goal while it was 26-26. So it was fun. I actually enjoyed this game. Bad weather in Seattle as always, so that helped it out. The Sea Chickens get the Rams this week coming off of their bye. The Rams are. And the Commanders get to host Danny DeVito playing quarterback. So
DT.
Unless Tyrod's back, I don't know what it is. No, they IR'd him. That's right. So Danny DeVito is playing quarterback against the Commanders this week. So the last 4:00 game, I mean, do we really have to talk about it? It was a thwacking. 49-17, the Cowboys beat the shit out of the Giants.
Kind of like a professional team playing a junior college team.
For those who don't remember, their first game was in New York to start the season, and that was 40-0. So here we are at 49-17. The 17 came against backups, so I don't really care. Tommy DeVito, 14 of 27 for 86 total yards passing. As Dot said, his favorite stat of the day. Probably the favorite stat for me of the season was that at halftime, the Cowboys had more points than the Giants had total yards.
That was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like, when I heard that, I was like, that's impressive. Like, I don't like the Cowboys per se, but God, the way they play at home on defense is so different.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Was Micah Parsons not playing?
I think he played.
He didn't record a tackle or anything else on the game, so he's not under the stats. So I don't know if he even played. I'm scrolling like 6 times, and I don't see his name. So that's why I ask. I just didn't know if he was actually in the game.
Dan Quinn addresses frustration from Micah Parsons.
So he did play. Just he did nothing against a very bad offensive line and a rookie quarterback. So that is shocking to me. Now, I want to point out that there was a incident on the sideline of the Giants in this game. If anyone didn't see it, Darius Slayton went off. I don't know who he got in the face of, but he got in the face of somebody and started flipping out. He was very unhappy with the Giants' offense and lack of offense. I don't know what he expected from a fucking undrafted quarterback that was so bad at Syracuse he had to transfer to Illinois. I don't know. But Tommy DeVito didn't live up to his hopes, I guess. And he was real pissed off. There's not much to talk about here. The Giants are going to suck while Daniel Jones is out. Daniel Jones isn't good, and neither is Tyrod's not phenomenal, but both of them give them at least some type of offense. There's no offense in this game without
But the Giants,
those two.
I still think the Giants are worse off. Like, I don't think they're worse off moving forward, but obviously without Daniel Jones and what they owe him, this was almost a godsend. It's like, okay, how do we get out of it sooner?
This is the team I think that needs to go get someone like the hell's the kid's name? The kid I'm trying to think of his name. JJ McCarthy, the kid at Michigan. I think he can, because you have an out on Daniel Jones after next season. So like, just let him learn the league, not learn from Daniel Jones, but learn the league. Learn from Brian Daboll. Let him sit for a year or half a year and then bench Daniel Jones, or just let Daniel Jones ride out that year and then take the out and go forward with a new quarterback. But you're not going to go out and get a guy who's going to start day one because you have to pay Daniel Jones a fuck ton next year.
Yeah,
but like, go get a guy to learn and get a piece before that. Like, draft a freaking wide receiver, please. Put a receiver on this roster somewhere.
Wait, the tight end doesn't count?
Darren Waller's never healthy enough to be a tight end to count. But I also do want to say that Saquon Barkley averaged 5 yards a carry. I do think the Cowboys are going to struggle against teams that can run. Because there's no way that wasn't part of your game plan defensively. Stop the run, considering you knew who the quarterback was.
I mean, they just didn't do much of anything.
Who? Hello? Oh, hi, Cloud. Baby girl. So funny when Harley puts his head on my leg. I'm like, what are you doing? Cloud. I'm like, hey.
Like if you look at the score, I mean, not that any. I feel like a lot of teams didn't stop the run well yesterday.
No, nobody did.
I mean, even like we'll get to other games, but like,
I only have one game left.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs went for 116.
Yeah,
like, Kenneth Walker had 20 carries for 63. I mean, in the Dallas Cowboys game, Rico Dowdle was the leading rusher.
And the Steelers ran both running backs for almost 100 yards. So,
like, David Montgomery, he broke off what, a 75-yarder, ended up with 116.
No, 150. Jerome Ford had another 107.
Yeah, I feel like just everybody kind of just didn't let offense. Offense just bloomed yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, except in the final game we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's the Giants play the Commanders, as I said, and the Cowboys play the Panthers. So there's those two, and now we go to the game that I couldn't watch because it was too boring, and Dot was tired because he watched League of Legends tournaments. But I did watch highlights to catch up on everything that happened in this game. Not that anything happened. 16-12 in the final. The Raiders moved to 5-5. Unbelievably, second place in the AFC West. Unbelievably. And the Jets fall to 4-5.
That is I'm sorry to detract, but isn't that another reason that Brandon Staley should be fired?
It's 100% another reason that Brandon Staley should be fired.
God.
Zach Wilson was the leading rusher and leading passer, obviously, but Breece Hall fell apart in this game. I don't know why he couldn't run the ball against the Raiders. Garrett Wilson was 9 of 93 receiving, and Tyler Conklin, 7 catches, 70 yards, and a pass deflection on his own quarterback. For those who didn't see it, there was a ball thrown deep into the end zone to Garrett Wilson. And Tyler Conklin didn't realize Garrett Wilson was there and was worried because he did see a Raider behind him and ripped the ball out of the air and threw it to the ground. So he got credited an actual pass deflection. That is the most Jets thing I can say.
Sounds
Jets
like he really has faith in Zach Wilson.
Aiden O'Connell didn't do anything, but we've learned the new way of the Raiders under Damian Pierce. We saw it last week against the Giants. We'll saw it this week against the Jets. Just give the ball to Brandon Jacobs and let him work.
27 carries, 116.
And then when you have to throw the ball, throw to Devontae Adams. They figured it out. They at least got those three.
Oh my God, we're going to pay this guy all this money and throw him the fucking ball? Are you crazy?
They finally got those two things correct. Another very quiet game from a superstar, though, as Max Crosby was silent in this game.
Yeah, that one's a little I don't want to say concerning, but a little bit okay.
It was confusing considering it's the Jets offensive line and everybody gets to Zach Wilson. Normally there's a party at Zach Wilson, but Max had a very quiet game here. But there's not much. This game was terrible. Both of these teams are terrible. The Raiders being 500 is baffling. Just baffling. But their defense the past 2 weeks, granted it's been the Giants and Jets, has looked pretty okay. Again, Giants and Jets, so I don't know. Take that for what it is.
How much faith are you going to put in those picks?
Yeah. The Jets, I don't know. They claim they're holding on until Rodgers returns. Every time I hear Rodgers talk, I'm pretty convinced he's only coming back if they make the playoffs. I don't think he's coming back before then.
What are you holding on to?
People keep saying that maybe the Christmas Eve game, and I'm like, when you hear him talk, he sounds like it's playoffs or nothing. I don't.
Well, he just sounds like Aaron Rodgers, right? You have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he'll be back that soon. And again, what is it for? To either re-aggravate the injury or what?
If you listen to actual conspiracy theories, because I love conspiracy theories so much, there's fans theorizing the reason he went into that darkness retreat was just to plan on how to make medical science sound more stupid, since he believes that the whole COVID thing's a hoax. People claim that he came up with a plan to fake an Achilles injury and then come back in an unprecedented amount of time to claim that medical science is wrong about how to heal Achilles. And I'm like, this is not what he did. He's not masterminding.
I literally watched the play and watched his Achilles snap and roll.
Now, you can literally see it. But people want to just claim these things to claim these things. And I've seen all these dumb fans going, "Oh, I can see it happening. It's Aaron Rodgers." I'm like, Aaron Rodgers might be psychotic.
If you guys believe that, I've got a movement for you. It's called Birds Aren't Real.
Yes, birds are not real. They are just drones by the government.
If it flies, it spies. All right?
Yeah. That's why Spies in Disguise is a movie. It's to tell us all that pigeons are really spies.
I like it. I like it.
Ignore the fact that it's a kid's movie with Tom Holland and Will Smith. It's truly a legit movie.
Let's ignore the fact that the Buffalo Bills have 8 points at halftime.
Yeah, they're getting outplayed by by the Broncos all around.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like we're living in the upside down, but here we are.
Yeah, let's look at this stat line. 9 of 15 for 86 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. If I said that in today's game, you would think, oh, that's Russell Wilson. No, that's Josh Allen.
That's Josh Allen.
Russell Wilson is 12 of 14, so literally 2 incompletions with 114 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. It's the upside down. We're in the upside fucking down. The Raiders take their 5-5 record to visit Miami this week to go to 5-6, and the Jets take their 4-5 record to go visit this Buffalo team to I don't know what. I don't know what's going to happen in that game.
I don't know if Buffalo's going to be able to score, to be honest with you.
I don't know. There's a hold, though. I mean, I just watched the offensive lineman tackle Trey Bernard. But I don't know. Bye weeks next week for those in fantasy football that might have worries, because I have Bijan and I've got Algier at my running backs right now, and I'm pretty sure I have other issues with Jonathan Taylor also being on my team. The bye weeks this coming week are the Atlanta Falcons, the Colts, the New England Patriots, and the New Orleans Saints. So there's some pretty big names, and then there's the Patriots. So
hey, now you watch it over there.
I meant players. Nobody has Patriots starters.
Oh yeah, why would you?
So you're gonna miss Jonathan Taylor.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay, we went a bridge too far.
It's like Packers offensive players. At this point, you're not starting anyone unless you're desperate. Because unless you're desperate, you're starting Aaron Jones. I don't.
Yeah, you're
Otherwise,
like,
hopefully, you're not.
this guy's going to go for 2 catches for 38 yards, and Jordan Love's going to throw 2 interceptions, throwing him his way in the end zone.
Like I sometimes I regret Romeo Dobbs sitting because he's always the touchdown that Jordan Love is good for, but I just still don't have any confidence. So I'm like,
No.
But all right, so that's everything. I don't know if I have anyone to rate. I haven't checked. Anything else for you before we go to? Oh, we have to pick Thursday Night Football. Holy crap, I'm dumb. I'm going to pull up the injuries, at least current injuries, because this is too big of a Thursday night game for me to just not know. Hendrickson is questionable. Higgins will be questionable. Jesus Christ. Those are the two big ones.
I'm not sure what I trust more, Burrow late in the game, or do I trust less the Baltimore Ravens late in the game?
And the Ravens, Ronnie Stanley's questionable, Van Noy is questionable, and Trey Simpson, the other linebacker, questionable with concussion protocol at the current moment.
Van Noy might miss. I mean, I saw that block on him. That looked painful.
Yeah, it's a groin injury for Van Noy. In Baltimore, 3.5 point line to the Ravens, so they gained a half point. This is the Bengals are 30th, and I keep saying their defense is good. They're 30th in total yards allowed, 24th in passing yards allowed, 30th in rushing yards allowed, 16th in points allowed. So there's the difference. They're at least middle. And third down percentage, they're 26th in the league at stopping teams on third down. The Ravens are 6th best at converting third down. They're 5th in points scored on offense, 1st in the league in rushing yards.
Who was their other loss to?
Who?
Baltimore? Yeah.
It's Pittsburgh, Indy, and Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Pittsburgh was the one I'm missing.
Yeah, Lamar threw the pick to Odell, trying to force a ball to Odell in the end zone, threw an interception, and threw an interception while trying to throw to Odell in the end zone. And then Kenny Pickett did what he does best, fourth quarter, late drive, walk down the field. The only thing he's good at.
Can't do it any other quarter, but we put it in the fourth.
It's not even just the fourth. It's literally the final drive. Otherwise, he's pointless. I don't get it. But I'm going to take a gamble as of right now. I'm going to take the Ravens. I don't feel comfortable because Lamar is 7-2 against the Bengals. So that's another reason I'm okay taking him. But he was 7-3 against the Browns. But the Bengals, as much as we and you have talked about their defense, those stats are terrible. They're bottom 6 in every category. So I don't know where. Maybe it's just because the last 3 weeks they've been good and it just hasn't evened out yet.
Yeah, first 3 weeks they were awful, right?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's where it comes from, like how bad those stats are. But the Ravens, even after that 33 points allowed to the Browns, still are only allowing 15.9 points a game defensively. So I just feel Baltimore in a crispy 42-degree weather Baltimore night will be good enough to win like a 27-24 game, and I'll take the Ravens at 3 points.
All right, I'll take Cincinnati.
Okay. It's a game. I mean, it's a hell of a game.
I feel like Cincinnati's got that fourth quarter comeback ability.
And they need to win this. Like, of all teams, they need to win.
So I'm just like, let's see.
Yeah, and last year, Cincinnati beat Baltimore and Baltimore twice. So, oh, wait, no, it was once. The other game was in the playoffs, and that was in Cincinnati. Sorry. All right, I need to... My phone's starting to do some weird shit lately. I need to see if there's anyone live. It's like getting a green light throughout the phone every now and then.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it feels great. Is there anyone? Well, let's look at no, hold on. Do you got anybody?
I
I like to raid, I really do, but I just haven't had anyone lately. It's like
have Odin playing Dead by Daylight.
Odin pun or your friend Odin?
My friend Odin.
Okay, cool. That'll work. All right, guys, we're gonna raid you to DVD.
It's Odin _912.
Yeah, I've got them right here. I'm pulling them up on the other tab so I can actually be part of the raid, which I wasn't with Grizzly. Raid Odin. Cool. Odin. All right, guys, we're gonna raid Odin. Give him some love. He's playing DVD. No, guys, I'm allowed to say all right. Jesus Christ. I didn't see this, and I'm sorry to whoever Catastrophe is. I know I didn't see you follow, and I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. We appreciate you. We'll be back Sunday morning, not 9:30. That's game times. There's no more international games. We'll be live Sunday morning at 11:30 with all the games of the week to talk about and anything crazy that happens in college football or any other sports along the way. Keep an eye on our TikTok. I keep posting to it. We're still struggling to get going. So if you just reshare, repost, whatever, we'll appreciate it. Our YouTube is getting, some hits lately, and I love it. So we just got to keep going. We'll keep grinding with you guys. And reminder, next Tuesday, I'm going to be on a new podcast called Restart Zone, just to remind everybody about NASCAR.
There you go.
Anyway. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys Sunday morning. Have a good night.
Take it easy. Love you guys.
You see this thing they're doing now on ESPN?
No.
It's a thing in the bottom right corner where it says ESPN Analytics, and it tells you what analytics would say on fourth down.